live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. Good morning. Live on the Facebooks. When the time drew near for David to die, he gave charge to Solomon his son. I am about to go the way of all the earth, he said. So be strong, act like a man, and observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations, as written in the law of Moses. Do this so that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you go, and that the Lord may keep his promise to me if your descendants watch how they live, and if they walk faithfully before me with all their heart and soul. You will never fail to have a successor on the throne of Israel. Amen. There we go, Jody Warren. Good morning to you. Good to see you, Miss Jody. All right. Verse 5 of 1 Kings chapter 2 says, now you yourself know what Joab, son of Zeruiah, did to me, what he did to the two commanders of Israel's armies, Abner, son of Ner, and Amasa, son of Jether. He killed them, shedding their blood in peacetime as if in battle. And with that blood, he stained the belt around his waist and the sandals on his feet. Deal with him according to your wisdom, but do not let his gray head go down to the grave in peace. But show kindness to the sons of Barzillai of Gilead, and let them be among those who eat at your table. They stood by me when I fled from your brother Absalom. Verse 8, and remember, you have with you Shimei, son of Gerar. Shimei. This is the guy that was cussing at him from top of that mountain, saying how bad he was, how bad David was. And he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Shimei, son of Gerar, the Benjamite from Bahurim, who called down bitter curses on me the day I went to Mahanaim. When he came down to meet me at the Jordan, I swore to him by the Lord, I will not put you to death by the sword. But now do not consider him innocent. You are a man of wisdom. You will know what to do to him. It's some Godfather stuff by David. I don't care for it at all. You know what to do to him, If he goes missing, he goes missing. I'm not going to say you got to whack him, but you just, if he's not around anymore, it may be all right. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of how I feel David was right there, David, just know that you have not been the best of a dude, Yeah, there's times where you did great. There's times you were Jerry Springer, okay? Yeah, I know you don't know who Jerry Springer was, King David, David, because it's whatever, 3,000 years later. But, bro, you were Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer came out, so... but yeah, if you want to whack him. I don't care. The Benjamite from Bahurim called down bitter curses on me the day I went to Mahanaim. When he came down to meet me at the Jordan, I swore to him by the Lord, I will not put you to death by the sword. But now do not consider him innocent. You are a man of wisdom. You will know what to do. He didn't do nothing wrong. He was just speaking facts. Some people don't like the truth. Amen. Some people don't like the truth. Bring his gray head down to the grave in blood. Okay, well, there you go. Verse 10, then David rested with his ancestors. So that's David's last words. Whack the guy that spoke the facts that I'm a murdering, blasphemous adulterer. All right, whatever, man. Then David rested with his ancestors and was buried in the city of David. He had reigned 40 years over Israel, 7 years in Hebron and 33 in Jerusalem. So Solomon sat on the throne of his father David, and his rule was firmly established. Now Adonijah, the son of Haggith, went to Bathsheba, Solomon's mother. Bathsheba asked him, do you come peacefully? He asked, yes, peacefully. Then he added, I have something to say to you. You may say it, she replied. As you know, he said, the kingdom was mine. All Israel looked to me as their king. But things changed, and the kingdom has gone to my brother, for it has come to him from the Lord Now I have one request to make of you. Do not refuse me. You may make it, she said. So he continued, please ask King Solomon, he will not refuse you, to give me Abishag the Shunammite as my wife. This is weird to me also. This is weird to me also. This is the dude that tried to make himself king without telling his dad on his deathbed, and tried to bypass Solomon. Now he's like, hey, coming to Solomon's mom, like, hey, can you do this backdoor deal with me? I want this woman to be my wife, Abishag. She should have said, she should have just been like, get out of my presence. Sorry, get out of my presence. I don't even want to talk to you. Get out of my presence. Very well, Bathsheba replied. I will speak to the king for you. When Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him for Adonijah, the king stood up to meet her, bowed down to her, and sat down on his throne. And look, was Bathsheba complicit in going to David? What if she refused to, I guess, surrender herself to the king? What? She would get whacked? Well, there you go. She would be honored for not committing adultery and getting her husband killed. Something else that, nobody's talking about. What if she just said, no, I'm not going to be with the king. I'm married to Uriah the Hittite. I'm going to stay at my house. I don't care if David saw me bathing in the backyard or not. I'm going to stay to, whatever. But here she is now, mother of the king of Israel. I will speak to the king for you. When Bathsheba went to King Solomon to speak to him for Adonijah, the king stood up to meet her, bowed down to her, and sat down on his throne. He had a throne brought for the king's mother, and she sat down at his right hand. I have one small request to make of you, she said. Do not refuse me. The king replied, make it my mother. I will not refuse you. So she said, let Abishag the Shunammite be given in marriage to your brother Adonijah. King Solomon answered his mother, why do you request Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? You might as well request the kingdom for him. After all, he is my older brother. Yes, for him, and for Abiathar the priest and Joab son of Zeruiah. Like, why are you coming at me with this sideways stuff? Why are you coming at me with this sideways stuff? And why are you even associating with him? That dude tried to get us whacked. He tried to get us killed. And you're over here cutting deals with him? No, like, I'm sorry. Like, look, if somebody put a hit on my head, okay, and one of my friends is being friendly towards him, that's a no-no. That's a no-no. No, bro. That dude wants me dead, and you're over here being buddy with him. You either cut him off or you're getting cut off. I'm not dealing with people that want me dead. Okay? And that's what's going on here. Then King Solomon swore by the Lord, may God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if Adonijah does not pay with his life for his request. Well, there you go, Solomon. Good job. Good job. There you go. He makes an oath. May God deal with me, be it ever so severely, if Adonijah does not pay with his life for this request. And now, as surely as the Lord lives, he who has established me securely on the throne of my father David, and has founded a dynasty for me as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death today. There you go. Go ahead, Solomon. Put in work. So King Solomon gave orders to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, and he struck down Adonijah, and he died. Well done, Solomon. That dude wanted you dead. He tried to kill you. He tried to kill you and kill the promise of God. He tried to kill the promise of God. What's the promise of God? Solomon's going to be on the throne. Is what it is. To Abiathar the priest, the king, the king said, quote, go back to your fields in Anathoth. You deserve to die, but I will not put you to death now, because you carried the ark of the sovereign Lord before my father David, and shared all my father's hardships. So Solomon removed Abiathar from the priesthood of the Lord, fulfilling the word the Lord had spoken at Shiloh about the house of Eli. When the news reached Joab, who had conspired with Adonijah, though not with Absalom, he fled to the tent of the Lord and took hold of the horns of the altar. Come on, bro. It's not going to save you. King Solomon was told that Joab had fled to the tent of the Lord and was beside the altar. Then Solomon ordered Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, go, strike him down. So Benaiah entered the tent of the Lord and said to Joab, the king says, come out. But he answered, no, I will die here. Benaiah reported to the king, this is how Joab answered me. Then the king commanded Benaiah, do as he said, strike him down and bury him, and so clear me and my whole family of the guilt of the innocent blood that Joab shed. There you go. The Lord repay him for the bloodshed, because without my father David knowing it, he attacked 2 men and killed them with the sword, both of them, Abner, son of Ner, commander of Israel's army, and Amasa, son of Jether, commander of Judah's army. He didn't just kill 2 guys, he killed really 2 important guys. Says, we're better men and more upright than he. May the guilt of their blood rest on the head of Joab and his descendants forever, but on David and his descendants, his house and his throne, may there be the Lord's peace forever. Verse 34, so Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, went up and struck down Joab and killed him, and he was buried at his home out in the country. The king put Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, over the army in Joab's position and replaced Abiathar with Zadok the priest. There you go. Then the king sent for Shimei and said to him, build yourself a house in Jerusalem and live there, but do not go anywhere else. The day you leave and cross the Kidron Valley, you can be sure you will die. Your blood will be on your own head. Almost put this boy on house arrest, just about. But 3 years later, 2 of Shimei's slaves ran off to Achish, son of Maacah, king of Gath, and Shimei was told, your slaves are in Gath. At this, he saddled his donkey and went to Achish at Gath in search of a slave. Bro, you know you can't cross those county lines. You know you can't cross those county lines. So Shimei went away and brought the slaves back from Gath. When Solomon was told that Shimei had gone from Jerusalem to Gath and had returned, the king summoned Shimei and said to him, did I not make you swear by the Lord and warn you on the day you leave to go anywhere else? You can be sure you will die. At that time, you said to me, what you say is good, I will obey. Why then did you not keep your oath to the Lord and obey the command I gave you? The king also said to Shimei, you know in your heart all the wrong you did to my father David. Now the Lord will repay you for your wrongdoing. I don't know what all he did wrong to David, but anyways. But King Solomon will be blessed, and David's throne will remain secure before the Lord forever. Then the king gave the order to Benaiah, son of Jehoiada, and he went out and struck Shimei down, and he died. The kingdom was now established in Solomon's hands. And the last portion is this chapter 3, 1 through 3. Solomon made an alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and married his daughter. Doesn't sound smart. He brought her to the city of David until he finished building his palace and the temple of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem. The people, however, were still sacrificing at the high places because a temple had not yet been built for the name of the Lord. Solomon showed his love for the Lord by walking according to the instructions given him by his father David, except that he offered sacrifice and burnt incense on the high places, which is weird. All right, that was a big portion. Now in Acts 5. Acts 5, 31 minutes past the hour. Nice and warm in here. Acts 5, verse 1. Now a man named Ananias, together with his wife Sapphira, also sold a piece of property. With his wife's full knowledge, he kept back part of the money for himself, but brought the rest and put it at the apostles' feet. Then Peter said, Ananias, How is it that Satan has so filled your heart that you have lied to the Holy Spirit and have kept for yourself some of the money you received for the land? Didn't it belong to you before it was sold? And after it was sold, wasn't the money at your disposal? What made you think of doing such a thing? You have not lied just to human beings, but to God. Then Ananias heard this. He fell down and died, and great fear seized all who heard what had happened. Then some young men came forward, wrapped up his body, and carried him out and buried him. About 3 hours later, his wife came in, not knowing what had happened. Peter asked her, "Tell me, is this the price you and Ananias got for the land?" "Yes," she said, "that is the price." Peter said to her, "How could you conspire to test the Spirit of the Lord? Listen, the feet of the men who buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out also." At that moment, she fell down at his feet and died. Then the young men came in and, finding her dead, carried her out and buried her beside her husband. Great fear seized the whole church and all who heard about these events. The apostles performed many signs and wonders among the people, and all the believers used to meet together in Solomon's colonnade. No one else dared join them, even though they were highly regarded by the people. Nevertheless, more and more men and women believed in the Lord and were added to their number. As a result, people brought the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and mats so that at least Peter's shadow might fall on some of them as he passed by. Crowds gathered also from the towns around Jerusalem, bringing their sick and those tormented by impure spirits, and all of them were healed. Verse 17, then the high priest and all his associates, who were members of the party of the Sadducees, were filled with jealousy. They arrested the apostles and put them in the public jail. But during the night, an angel of the Lord opened the doors of the jail and brought them. "Stand in the temple courts," he said, "and tell the people all about this new life." At daybreak, they entered the temple courts as they had been told and began to teach the people. When the high priest and his associates arrived, they called together the Sanhedrin, the full assembly of the elders of Israel, and sent to the jail for the apostles. But on arriving at the jail, the officers did not find them there. So they went back and reported, "We found the jail securely locked, with the guards standing at the doors. But when we opened them, we found no one inside." On hearing this report, the captain of the temple guard and the chief priests were at a loss, wondering what this might lead to. Then someone came and said, "Look, the men you put in jail are standing